Does Ukraine really need Elon Musk's help? Elon Musk has tried his best to stay extremely involved in the Russian-Ukrainian conflict. He's spoken up several times and even offered help through Starlink. Even though critics can't help but question his intentions, which beg the question, does Ukraine really need Musk's help? Well, keep watching to find out. Before we move on, don't forget to press the bell icon and subscribe for more exciting content from us. Concerns after the invasion. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has led to horrific circumstances which are affected not just Ukraine, but in fact the entirety of Europe. Many lives have been disrupted and many feared that Russia might destroy Ukraine's internet infrastructure, thus cutting off online communication. Russia is well known for using the internet as a tool to spread propaganda, using strategic social media campaigns, and it won't come as a surprise if they decide to disrupt or hijack Ukraine's narrative by spreading some more propaganda. However, unfortunately for Ukraine, while there have been some temporary outages and some cyber attacks on their government's websites, they've remained protected from an internet blackout. Along with that, they've also managed to come up with their own strategies so that they can present their side of the story. Ukrainian leaders have been pretty active on social media, making heartfelt appeals through different channels, making sure that they've been heard by the international media. The Ukrainian Vice Prime Minister, Mikhailo Fedorov, has been pretty active on Twitter, constantly tweeting updates regarding the current situation. Throughout the situation, Fedorov has constantly appreciated the help social media has provided Ukraine. On February 26, he tweeted, "In 2022, modern technologies are one of the best responses to tanks, rockets, and missiles. I've addressed to the biggest tech giants to support the sanctions for Russia Federation. We asked them to help us to stop this outrageous aggression on our people." While the internet blackout hasn't occurred yet, the fear of it still looms over the country. For this very reason, Fedorov asked Elon Musk, the founder and CEO of SpaceX, for help. Musk's company SpaceX provides internet access through satellites, and the entire constellation is called Starlink. In these tough times, the service could be really useful for the Ukrainians, which is why Fedorov tweeted saying, @Elon Musk, while you try to colonize Mars, Russia tries to occupy Ukraine. While your rockets successfully land from space, Russian rockets attack Ukrainian civil people. We ask you to provide Ukraine with Starlink stations and to address sane Russians to stand." Within a day, Musk replied, "Starlink service is now active in Ukraine. More terminals en route." Pretty fast, right? Well, interestingly, Musk isn't the only tech magnate Fedorov had contacted and received help from. In the past couple of days, he tweeted an appeal to Apple and Tim Cook, saying, "No more at Apple product sales in Russia. Now, at Tim Cook, let's finish the job and block at App Store access in Russia. They kill our children, now kill their access." He then tweeted at Mark Zuckerberg, "Mark Zuckerberg, while you create metaverse, Russia ruins real life in Ukraine. We ask you to ban access to Facebook app and Instagram from Russia, as long as tanks and missiles attack our kindergartens and hospitals." Meta. But it doesn't end there. Google CEO Sundar Pichai and YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki were also requested to deplatform Russian state media. However, with these people, Fedorov hasn't exactly gotten what he asked for. For example, Apple has cut off Apple Pay in Russia, removed their state-controlled news apps from the App Store outside Russia, and they've also paused selling their products over there. Similarly, YouTube is deplatforming just the state-controlled media in Europe. And along with Google, it's also stopped monetizing advertisements on Russian state-controlled websites and channels. Meta is also limiting access to Russian state-controlled channels on its platform, and it's also demoting their content globally. While all of these platforms have gone pretty far to offer their help, none of them have tried to get as involved as Elon Musk. Musk rushes in to save the day? We all know that Elon Musk loves attention, and we know that his brands thrive off the attention he gets. This is why it's no wonder that he's constantly active on social media and loves giving his opinion on controversial topics. True to his nature, he's also shown great interest in the Russian-Ukraine conflict, and he's been tweeting throughout. Initially, he started by just replying to Fedorov, then he showed support for the Ukrainians, and most recently, he is known that he was just challenged the Russian president for a one-on-one combat. While many perceive this as noble and appreciate his passion and dedication to the Ukrainian cause, critics feel that he's just using this for his publicity. Musk is known to make big statements, and many times he is unable to live up to them. One such example comes from just 2 years ago, back in March 2020, when the coronavirus pandemic hit the United States and hospitals fell short of ventilators. Once again, Musk found his way to Twitter stating that Tesla would start making ventilators in their Buffalo, New York plant. Spoiler alert, this did not happen. Instead, Tesla actually built a prototype using Tesla parts, and that prototype never followed through production. But of course, all this was great publicity for the billionaire. In the end, he promised to donate hundreds of ventilators completely changed, and he ended up giving Tesla-branded BiPAP and CPAP machines used for the treatment of sleep apnea. This time, however, it seems that his promise was not an empty one. In fact, the day he tweeted that Starlink is now active in Ukraine, a truckload of their satellite dishes, aka dishies, reached Ukraine along with that. Musk also made adjustments allowing the Ukrainians to use the space internet service as their alternative if they needed to. While it's not clear if they ever need it, however, it's good that they have a backup in case something happens. Plus, doesn't hurt to have one of the richest people in the world on your side, right? While this in itself was a huge step, the Musk plus Ukrainian story doesn't end here. Many people still had cybersecurity concerns, and even Musk pointed out that there are chances Russian hackers would attack. However, for that, he later tweeted some tips that could help anyone using the satellite device. For all of those who are worried if Starlink actually works in Ukraine, well then, if you must know, a man in Ukraine tweeted that his dishy was in fact working. While he had purchased this dishy before Musk's donation, it wasn't working before, and he couldn't connect to the internet. Before he could further investigate the matter, his country was invaded and everything was disrupted. However, he then tweeted that, "I saw Elon's tweet and decided to try to connect my dishy." He received further help from SpaceX, and they helped him adjust the settings so that he could use the service effectively. "I was glad to test it and share my results," he said. "A lot of people are waiting for this." While we do know that Starlink has started working in Ukraine, nobody's entirely sure about the number of dishes Musk has sent over. Neither SpaceX nor Fedorov have commented. But as expected, Fedorov has been appreciating Musk and Starlink. On 2nd March, he tweeted a picture of an installed dishy with the caption, @Elon Musk, @SpaceX, @SpaceX Starlink. Many thanks. Starlink keeps our cities connected and emergency services saving lives. But does Ukraine really need Musk's help? The question arises, while Ukrainians are immensely pleased with Musk's help, is it really necessary? The Guardian pointed out that while there have been reports about temporary shortages, it's not an easy thing to completely cut off a country's internet service. There are several companies running, and they're all operating through different mediums. Some are using fiber optic cables while others use cellular networks or even satellite internet services. Ukraine is not dependent on just one source of internet service, which is why it's hard for Russia to cut them off. This is why they prefer resorting to cyber attacks, because they too understand the complexity of a complete internet shutdown. At the end of the day, nobody, however, can be sure of anything, and it seems that it's good that the Ukrainians have Starlink as their alternative, if worse comes to worse. We all know that the internet has played an integral role even during this invasion. It's helped the Ukrainians stay connected to each other and the people outside. In the past couple of days, downloading for communication and connectivity apps have increased drastically as Ukrainians rush to use any app they can, including the lesser-known ones such as Signal, Telegram, and Zello. The internet has helped the Ukrainians in presenting their side of the story, and it has helped them gain immense help from the global community. All help is not lost, since we know that Ukraine has international support and Russia is getting buried under strict economic sanctions. With that said, that's all that we have for you guys today. What do you guys think about watching the entire video? Does Ukraine really need Musk's help? Tell us in the comment section down below. We love hearing from you guys. That being said, if you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe for more. Until next time, see you later, goodbye.